and welcome. So I am going to take a look at the Guardian's Cryptic crossword. This is being published on Wednesday the 6th of August 2025, and our setter today is Brendan. Not one of the names I see a lot of. I think I've done one or two of his puzzles before. I think they're doable, but I'm not entirely sure. I could be misremembering that. I ought to start keeping some kind of stats maybe. Last week I started doing the cryptics and I had some flyers. This week hasn't been so good really. Struggled on Mondays, I think it's 45 minutes, and then yesterday couldn't finish it. The dog themed one from Paul, which took me over an hour. So this one hoping for a little bit of redemption. Again, going to keep this for the weekend when I'm away and just publish them later on. So enough of me waffling on. It's time to crack on really. So down first, small movement inserting call for peace, attracting much attention. Small movement inserting call for peace. Is that a shush? Is a small movement something doing something to do with music? I don't know, let's put an S there anyway. Divide the others across answers, classify as good or bad. 435, 435, gosh. Someone good, someone probably an and in there, or the. Divide the other across answers, classify as good or bad. So this means we've got a theme. Elizabeth I's favourite cheese. I want to put Emmental just based on how long it is, but Emmental is, why would that be? I can't see it really. Elizabeth I be ER1. Favourite would be pet, and then I've run out of letters. Elizabeth I could be Bess. What about Bess? Bess 1, pet. Bessie pet. Bessis pet. Don't know. Cheese is not my strong point for identifying. Party is in decline. Party is in decline. Do something. Down. Sag. Okay. Endless speculations on sacred books. Well, sacred books can be NT, isn't it? Source for wise men. Not really. Repast is oddly deficient in food. Eats. Yeah, take out. No, eats. Which probably means that's going to be the word. Swap the. Scrap the. Don't know. Let's leave that T there for now. We're off to here. Daughter in sport. Running and jumping athletically. I assume daughter in sport. Running will be an anagram in sport. Spirited, sprinted. There's no O though. The E for sprinted. Jumping athletically. It's not gymnastics, it's not vaulting. It's not pole vaulting. Right. Let's go on to relieved to have finished ousting Conservative leader. Relieved is to finish is ended. Ceased, I think. Eased. Relieved is eased, and there's an east and an eased. Okay, let's look at this. Did I look at this? Yeah, I looked at that one. This was the first favourite cheese. Got an S there, which suggests it isn't going to be pet. Name for boy, sheltered by Irish aunt. Excuse me. Name for boy, sheltered by Irish aunt. How about Sean? That's a simple one, isn't it? Get absorbed, not seriously, by the sound of it. Get absorbed. Unified, unity. Not seriously is light-heartedly. Okay, 7 down. Work on tiny scale, otherwise he cannot. anagram he cannot. Probably what it'll be. I see him work on a timescale as like a miniature. I was like, what that would be? Han, Hakasca, Na. Not really happening. Okay, buffoon in staff initially unfriendly, needing change of heart. So probably a buffoon in staff initially unfriendly, needing change of heart. Change of heart would suggest you change the middle letter of something, but can't say that one. Okay, mythical deities remained years later. Can't really see what to do that, if I'm honest. Years later. Remained is stayed. Years later. Okay, maybe it just means put a Y after it, which is there. Don't know. Okay, well, they invariably obey head of state in Arab country. They invariably. Seems like there ought to be an anagram there. But what that anagram would be, they, then that would give me a Arab country. Saudi, Syria, Lebanon, Israel. Don't think so. Well, it's got those letters. Qatar, Oman, Yemen. Egypt, Palestine. Don't know. Can't see any others. Okay, go back over here. Not knowing what a dozen popes were called. Pope Anonymous. Innocent. I think not knowing is innocent, isn't it? There you are. Okay, that's at last a relatively easy one. As long as you've got the GK. I really want that to be earnest, but I don't, not seriously, because seriously earnest is work on tiny scale. Otherwise he cannot. Well, I've got an E there. It can be an E. ENT. Don't know. This one. I govern US badly. I mean, sure that's an anagram. I govern US, behaving like overusing, I suppose. That's the anagram. Got one last. Not well. At last, got a couple of them. I've got 4 so far. Libertine casting lascivious look over letters found in bathroom. Whoa. Found in bathroom, I think, is probably the definition here. Libertine is a casting lascivious look. Suggests take out something, but what lascivious look in libertine would be? Don't see that one. Right, some highly placed Asians live surrounded by strong men. I'm just looking at Sean and innocent and thinking, is this something about the sheep? Something about the sheep and the people who follow a sheep? Divide the other across answers, classify as good or bad. Split the something into the Sean, sheep, innocent. Not knowing. Invariably, yeah, I can't do that one. Some highly placed Asians, so that makes you think Nepalese. Makes me think Nepalese. Tibetans. Yeah, Tibetans and Titans. Okay, Biff, tastic. Deliverer messages from printer company. Intercom. Okay, I can go with intercom. What would Tibetans have to do with Sean and innocent? If there is a theme there as such, which I think there is. So look at this. Hear about object. That's just check on the screen still. Hear about object. That's hot or cool. Here is to try. I think. About object is IT item. That's hot or cool. Tricky, icky, ick. Hear about object. That's hot or cool. Temperature. Okay, let's go. No. Where did 8 go to? Get absorbed, not serious. Where did that come from? Oh, I looked at that one. Yes. Totally losing it. It's included in nuanced addition to foreign movie. Well, you'd think it would just be it's going somewhere. So we're looking at a foreign movie. It's nuanced addition. Subtext. Subtitles. I think subtitle. Subtle, yeah, subtitle and subtle. Okay, I'll go with it. Got there eventually somehow. Wicked person. Okay, so normally wicked person. Wicked is either candle related or evil. Always embracing false idol. Cool. Evil. Wicked person is always is EER. False idol is not an idolater, is it? Embracing false. Be an F, wouldn't it? Profiteer. Not profiteer. Wicked person could be a sinner. I think always is going to be here because wicked person. Okay, so we've got always. Okay, so always embracing a false idol is E. Wicked person would be a evildoer, which is how's that a false? Okay, idol is an anagram. I don't know whether V. Oh, just ever. Okay, it's that simple. What's this? Trendy. That's hot or cool. Yeah. Object. Okay. Yeah. The objective object. Camera equipment that's used for play. Dolly. Yep. Yeah, I don't quite know what a dolly is really, but definitely seen it on the credits of films. Okay, this is going to be about a doyen or something. Whiskey guzzling doctor. So that's that complete shock treatment. Whiskey guzzling, is that put a W into it? In which case that'd be Dwy Doctor. Shock treatment is don't know what shock treatment is in that sense. Let's go across to this one here. Silly people, sorry. Doctors seen in pairs. Duos? Dumbos? Duos and Dumbos? Oh, okay. Evildoer, Dumbos innocent, Tibetans, Dolly. Dolly the sheep is definitely a sheep. Dumbo is an elephant. Evildoer. Yeah, so Dolly the sheep, innocent. It's a sheep, so sheep are followers, aren't they? Sheep and goats, is it? Evildoer, goats. Don't know about that. Right, we've looked at that one, haven't I? Libertine, yep. This eastern state calls out for protest. Eastern is we. State calls. Protests are demos. Let's go down to this one here. Plants and animals in book I translated. Oh, that looks like it really does just want to be an anagram. Book I, which is either really highlighting my inability to do an anagram, Bocchio, or there's something more going on. What would be for book? Don't know. Okay, cereal crop on island, one delivered in late December. Cereal crop on island could be corn. Corn-y, one delivered in late December. Corny. Sorry about that. Right, let's go back to, let's have a look at this last one down. Height a river must rise for fish. That's just its H-A. Height a river and must. If that was a core, that would be a the as well. For fish, carp would be what's one at height. I can't see that being an HA really, to be fair. Not convinced by that bit. That's from the, from the, I think that's goats, but I can't remember. In which case, book I translated plants. Flora and fauna, plants are actually that wouldn't be a T, that would be an S, wouldn't it? If it was goat, separate the sheep and the goats, I think it is, but I'm not entirely sure. Height would be H. Let's go back to this one. Shock trick doctor, that completes. Whiskey guzzling is dryer, okay. Shock, hair dryer, okay. So I'll look, we got a hair, something, these sheep from the goats, I'm pretty certain that is. Can't think what the word is. Split, separate. Divide the other across answers, classify as good or bad. Keep the sheep from the goats. Well, that's a T. If I actually looked at these things, I haven't looked at these. I looked at that one, small movement, inserting call for peace, attracting much attention. Not sure about that one. This one, parties in decline. I suppose that could be something like lab for labour, liberal, DUP, DUP, SAG, in decline. Can't think of a word for decline really. Speculation, okay. Endless speculations, theories, I think. The Orient, very good. Yeah, New Assessment, good, nice. That went easier once I saw that, once I had that T there for the. This, daughter in sport. Hurdling? Yes, hurdling and hurling, nice. This, buffoon in staff, initially unfriendly, needing change of heart. Buffoon, glad handing, glad. Needing change of heart, don't know. Sliding. This, Elizabeth's first favourite cheese. Is it Winchester or something? No, can't be Chester, can it? Cheshire. Is it Professor? With the Confessor. Pro is favourite, maybe. That's 4 really. Pet. Elizabeth the First's favourite is the answer, isn't it? Which was, I don't know, the Duke of somewhere or other, probably. But I don't know where that is. Spencer, Isha. Cheese. My list of cheeses is low. This one, oh my, mythical deities remained years later. I think that means remained is stayed, but move the stay satyrs. Stay, yes. What's going on there? Mythical deities, I think, are satyrs. Remained is years. Sat is remained. Okay, years like that, is it? Right. Now I see what we're doing. Okay. They invariably obey head of state. There's that. In Arab country. Arab country, right, let's go back to my Arab countries. Yemen. Yes, men. Okay, Yemen. Ooh. There it is. Small movements. Inserting call for peace. Attracting much attention. I want to put hearsay here, but I don't think it's hearsay. Inserting call for peace is shh. I think it must be shush, mustn't it? Ooh, much attention. Work shy, gun shy, small movement, pushy. Divide the other across answers. Keep the sheep from the goats. If that was a K, something Y. Attracting much attention would be not so I can figure off. That one, party is in decline. T. Not seeing that one either at the moment. Right, let's go and have a look at these ones again. Buffoon in staff. Staff is to man, or it could be a rod. Initially unfriendly. Needing change of heart. Work on tiny scale. I haven't really looked at whether this can be. Otherwise he cannot, he can't, he can't, doesn't fit, does it really? Let's see if it's an anagram. What the heck? It's a funny anagram indicator otherwise, but it could be, couldn't it? Nanotech, there we are. Nanotech it is, right. Definitely wasn't biffing that one. Libertine, yeah, found in bathroom. It isn't the loo, it's not the shower, it's not the, well, we go with wash basin or something there. Let's just check that one. Over is in the clue, US, ing. I mean, it looks about as good as it gets. Found in bathroom. Or is it just letters? Lascivious. Oh, maybe it's lascivious. Looks over letters found in bathroom, in which case you've got THR. Jethro. Lascivious is. To get to a libertine would be a. I don't know what libertine is really. I assume it's sort of a a rakish person, but I don't really know. Oh. Okay, so satyrs are goat types, aren't they? I suppose. Half human, half goat feet. Tibetans, I assume that's a type of goat. Evildoer, don't know. Dolly the sheep. Dumbos are elephants. I'm not quite sure about that one. So what have we got here? Glad, buffoon in staff. There's a U to go in there somewhere. Initially unfriendly. It's going to be you. Can't really see that. Luddites could be you, I suppose. You. Duo. Needing change of heart. Or is it a synonym for unfriendly, which is cold? Needing change of heart, they need a 5-letter word, really, I suppose. Get absorbed is to insight, insert, inject. Ingest. Is it a G or a J? Get absorbed is to ingest. Yeah, you're doing ingest, okay. What is this then? Where's my U? If it can't be U there, really. So the U would have to go there. If there is a U for unfriendly. You can change your heart. Staff will be not sure. Right, let's go down here again. Have a look at these. Which are cereal crop, corn, in late December. Okay, cereal, and then crop on island, I guess. So we're looking at the name of cereal. In which case, cereals begin with C. I'm pretty weak on. You know, corn and barley and the like. Oh, excuse me. I think from the goats is correct. This one, plants and animals in book I, translated. Assuming that is goats. And I won't be surprised if I'm wrong about that. What to do with that clue? Plants. Is it possible that is a plural? Which would be... Not sure. Let's just check out Dumbos again. Two people are Dumbos. Doctors is... What are doctors? MB. Seen in pairs, which are duos. I think that makes sense. Eastern State. This calls out for a protest. Calls out. Shouts. Protests are, demos are, resists. If that was an E, I've got the letters found in bathroom would be the. That could be THERO, Jethro. If that was an E, O, should we say? What would that give me? Eastern would be Oriental. Look at overput letters. Really makes me think that isn't right though, because I've got too many letters in there. But I think TH is probably the right thing. Leer. Lether. Is it lascivious look a leer? Would that be resists? Did I say resists? Maybe. Eastern State. think I'm looking for libertine, though, aren't I? Libertine. It does really help to know what a libertine is, I think. Even though I've probably come across it somewhere in my readings and things. Okay, let's go back down to this one here, the river height. Height, was it height? Is H, I think. A river. Rise for fish. Fish beginning with ending in H, 4 letters. And you think that's an AH, really. Height A. River must rise. Let's just try some. Can't really think of the Po, River Po. There are a few other 2-letter ones. None of which is kind of. I mean, this Po would be opal, wouldn't it? Which does not ring a bell as a name of fish to me. If it was, what they give me there? Cereal crop on island, one delivered in late December. Is it just Christ? Chris, C-H-R, C-H-R-I, no. Christmas, C-H-R. Delivered in late December. Capricorn. That's a goat, isn't it? Capri is an island. Capricorn, there we are. Okay. Okay, that must be opal then, I think, for the Po River. I mean, I'm no better off with any other letter there, really. I'm fairly sure that's goats then. Now, which leaves that. Plants and animals in books. I translated. In book, I translated. Is it literally just B-O-O-K-A? Booker? Let's look at this one. Resends, protests. Eastern. No, Eastern's thing, isn't it? Eastern States. Eastern State. Calls out for protest. Sings. Singapore. Eastern. Oh, I don't know. The last 2 areas or 3 areas. Well, yeah, just that one there, and then these 3 here, and these couple here. Really helping out now, what libertine is. This one. How long have I been? It's about 35 minutes. Yeah, just coming up 35. Okay. Keep the sheep from the goats. Take the sheep from the goats. If that was a K, what would a K do to it? Party is in decline. No. Party's a rave. I'm fairly sure that's just the name of one of the dukes or whatever. Was it Elizabeth I's favourite? And then I need the name of a cheese. And cheese is normally named after counties and things. So it's going to be an Ensor or a Essor. That's why I was thinking Professor. I think it's Professor though. Worcester. No, it can't be Worcester. So this small movement is in Golf Piece. I think Golf Piece is shush. Attracting much attention is flashy. Doesn't work. A small movement is like a wiggle, is a nudge. I mean that sh could be wrong. But I think it probably is a word like flashy to get to much attention. But that could be an ly, I suppose. Classly, flassly. Leave that there. Divide the other across. Take the sheep from the goats. Keep. Rate the sheep from the goats. Rank. Part the sheep. This is also therefore going to be it's not just going to be a type of cheese, it's going to be a type of goat's cheese, I suppose. But what that is, so is that goat? We got goat. Shit, we got goat, mate. We got some possible sheep, goat, something. Yes, men are sheep. Innocence of sheep. I guess there's no pattern to it. Evil doers and dumbos must be goats. Dolly's a sheep, goat. Yeah. Buffoon in staff. Clad, clid, clod. Clod. Clod rod. Oh. It's not long as a SL. Flintstone. Buffoon. Fred Flintstone. Flidtone. Is that? Friendly is unwelcoming. Cold. Cold is normally the word for unwelcoming. Hurdling spot right. Eased is eased. Ceased. Yep. Nanotext right. Ingest is right. See, we've got the right versions in there. I think lascivious look is a leer, so lecher. Is that a lecher? Would that be a leer going over CH? Hot and cold there are, yeah. What is this then? Resings? Resings calls out for protest. Risings, I suppose. Risings. Why is it RI? Eastern State, okay, Rhode Island. Fair enough. Well, that feels a bit happy, doesn't it? I'm almost at 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Got one down there, one there, and 4 up in that corner. Well, 3.5 in that corner. So I feel like I've almost got there. That one, plants and animals, in book B, I translated. So that B I translated would be B. Was it book 1, and then so animals, plants and animals are B1 would be book A, BA. I don't even know what a letter is in terms of goats, or I assume Tibetans are goats and letters are probably goats, and then these are probably both sheep. Do either are across. Take, keep, rake, part. Keep the shit. Keep. I don't know why I think that's keep, but that really gives me a big problem there because party is in decline. Eject, erect, exact, exile is in decline. Okay, so in IS then party is. Let's go that way. In which case, could be ist, couldn't it? Decline is. Don't know. It could be IS. That, couldn't it? I still don't know what decline is though. Party. Can't really hear. That was it, it can't be. It's K. Kiss. Keep part. Part was my other one, wasn't it? Rave. Part the sheep. Part the sheep. It doesn't feel right, really. I doesn't look great, but let's go with IS there. I think that's probably a misleader, really, but oh, I really want to say Winchester or something. The Duke of Norfolk, all these little peoples around the country. Wasn't Sir Walter Raleigh. This one, small movement, inserting call for peace. Well, I don't know, that's in the right place, do I? SH. But I think it probably is. Although, what word ending in shy? Much attention. Unshy. Oh. Right, how long have I been at this? Coming up 45 minutes. At some point I need to just throw it in, I think, probably. I might come back actually. Might take a little break and come back to it. Buffoon is a nitwit. Buffoon in staff. Staff is a stick, or as to man. none of which looks possible there. I feel like buffoon is what we're trying to get to here, really. What that would be is a glad, initially unfriendly. So I think initially unfriendly is saying put a word for unfriendly at the start, but change the middle letter. That isn't enough to do. And then staff will be the end of it, in which case staff is, I don't know, it can't be. I've given you all my synonyms for it, really. Ox, ox. Right, I'm going to take a little break, go for a little walk, and get some oxygen to my brain, and then come back and have another go. Okay, I'm back from my walk, and a very productive walk it was. I mean, it's less than a kilometre. It's about 950 metres or so. I measured it one day because I used to walk it 4 times a day just to keep myself mobile. And as soon as I walked off my driveway, I suddenly thought, it's sort the sheep from the goats. So I put in salt. Well, I can put in salt now. Wrong way. Salt. I'm going to delete that for now. And then I kind of walked on a bit, and then I thought, and eventually I suddenly thought, this is going to be splashy because it's a small play. And then that gave me the Duke of Leicester. Now, obviously, I had a problem there. I realise that now, as I look at it, that should be eats. So that's the Duke of Leicester. I say the Duke of Leicester, it's Leicester cheese, which leaves this one. Party is in decline. I think is in rot, which is a roist. Okay, rot. So that just leaves these last two. Now, this one here I don't think I'm going to get, if I'm honest, because I think it's a word meaning plants. I think that is Dumbo's. Dumbo's an elephant. Is it like flora? Have I got that wrong? If that was for flora, I don't know why it'd be flora. Flora and fauna of plants and animals, aren't they? In book I translated. Book I think I translated as an A becomes an I becomes an A. Duff. Silly people. But Dumbo was an elephant. He wasn't a sheep or a goat, was he? That's the trouble with Dumbos. But why would that be flora? Whereas I think if that was a B for book and that's A is I translated, then that leaves animals to go in there, which I've got no idea what that would be. I did think about roe would fit, but that's fish eggs, so that's not really animals. Hogs, but that's not hogs, it's just hog. And I don't think there's many letters BR, BL, and then you go into kind of weird ones like BAO or something, but bro. So maybe this isn't Dumbo's, but I think it is doctors is an MB. We've got MBs, MOs, GPs, Dugbos, Duck. Don't think that's going to work. DRs. So I think it has to be Dumbo's, but I don't know what this is. And then that one there I haven't really thought about because I wasn't in the thinking mode for that. But buffoon in staff initially, needing change, unfriendly, needing change of heart. Unfriendly is too many letters. Unfriendly is unwelcoming is. Maybe staff initially and then unfriendly. Maybe it's a word for friendly, unfriendly, which needs change, which should be lad. Lead. Lid. Let's got 8 letters, got 7 letters there, which suggests that letter will be the one that changes. Buffon will be a slod, slid, slud, sled, lad, slad, sluggard. Yeah. Sled, led, lud, lid, lissum, slidum, slidsum. I don't know what lissum means. I don't think lissum means unfriendly, does it? I would guess that anyway. I'm just going to guess because I've got that end of days kind of mood. I'm going to put row in there. I don't think it's right. And I think that's probably as far as I'm getting today. 51 minutes on it in total, plus a little walk around the block. Let's check it all and see how we go. Yes, so those two were completely wrong. I'd really like to kind of... The S is wrong though, so that's interesting. I can't even think... Welcome, don't know. Check word, no. Kind of feel like that's glad, but it probably isn't going to be glad. No. Well, let's just go through the vowels here, see if we can get this letter. Oh, L-O-D, plod. Plod? No. Plod. Clod. Clod must be a thing, wasn't it? Clod. What's the wordplay here? A clod is a buffoon. Clod. Staff. Is it clod? No, it wasn't S, was it? I might as well reveal it. I'm not going to get it, am I? Clod pole. Really? Okay, a pole for a staff is fair enough, and then clod. Unfriendly, needing change of heart. I guess a staff initially. Well, staff is a pole. Clod is the unfriendly word, needing. No idea. And this one, I have to reveal that as well. Biota. Book 1. OTA. Okay. Books. Right, I'm just going to refresh the screen because that'll get rid of all these ticks. Right, let's go through those clues as best I can and try and work them out. Okay, well, divide the cross answers, classify as good or bad, so sort the sheep from the goats, fair enough, and then the across answers are either a version of a sheep or a version of a goat, so let's go through them. Well, Leicester is probably a goat because you probably get goat's cheese. Elizabeth the first favourite, I think, is probably someone like the Duke of Leicester. I don't know if it's a Duke or Earl of Leicester. A cheese is Leicester, like Red Leicester. Fair enough. I might have got that quicker if I hadn't mistyped, as I have a habit of doing. Sean the sheep, so definitely a sheep. Name for a boy is Sean, sheltered by your hidden word indicator that it's in Irish aunt. Satyrs are mythical deities. And they are goats, I think, because they've got goat's feet. They are top half human, lower half goat's feet, cloven feet. Remained is sat, and years is YRS, I think. Later it's just saying to put that after that. Now this one, let me have a quick think about this. I don't really know what's going on there. I assume a buffoon is a clodpole. I don't know. Staff is a pole. That's about the only bit I can really get from that word. I don't even know what definition is. I can't see change of heart being a clodpole though, so I think a buffoon must be a clodpole, but then I'd say a buffoon must be a clod. So I don't know. Right, they invariably obey our yes men, fair enough. And we've got the head of state is a S for state, going into the Arab country of Yemen. Not knowing is to be innocent, and a dozen popes, so there are a dozen pope innocents. Some highly placed Asians, well, Tibetans live in the Himalayas, so they are definitely highly placed. To live is to be, surrounded by strongmen, titans. Right, libertine must be a lecher. Now, I think part of the reason why I was struggling on that was because I would have thought, well, it's not really an excuse, but I would have thought of spelling lecher with a T. Casting lascivious look, I think it's a leer. Going over the letters found in the bathroom, which are the C and the H for cold and hot taps. A wicked person is an evildoer. Always is ever. Embracing an anagram of idle. So false is your anagram indicator. Silly people are dumbos. We've got doctors are MB. Doctor MB is seen in pairs, which are duos. Camera equipment is a dolly. Dolly shot they talk about. I don't quite know what that is. Is that like the craney thing that lifts the director and the camera up? I'm not sure. Anyway, a dolly is also like something that's used to play. Girls generally like to play with dollies. Boys can though as well. Cereal crop on island. Well, the island is the island of Capri, and it's on the end of. We've got corn, cereal crop on the end of Capri. So Capricorn, and Capricorn's the star sign that runs from kind of late December, kind of December the 20th till January the 20th ish, give or take. So late, but they start in late December. We've done 28 across, so let's now go back and have a look at the downs. A small movement is a S for small, and a movement is a play. Inserting call for peace, which is shh, please be quiet, so give us peace. Attracting much attention is splashy. A party is a roist, not come across roistering. Yeah, I think I've come across roistering, a roister. So yeah, roist is a party though. Not familiar with that particular version, which is literally is going into decline, which is rot. Like this one, endless speculations are theories without the S, and that just leaves you to put them on top of sacred books, which is the New Testament, NT. And the source of the wise men, well, they came from the Orient. Repast is, well, food is eats, so that's the definition. And I think I even said it when I did it, and then I typed it in and just didn't rethink myself. I moved on in brain. And you've got the second, fourth, and sixth letters of repast are eat, and then the second letter of is the S, and oddly deficient, so cross off all the odd letters from those two words. Repast is gives you eats. Daughter is D, going in the sport of hurling is the sport, put a D in that, gives you hurdling, which is running and jumping athletically. Relieved is eased, so something eased off it, relieved, and to have finished is to have ceased, but take off the C for conservative leader, ousting conservative leader, so ceased becomes eased. To work on a tiny scale is nanotech, which is an anagram of he cannot, otherwise is your anagram indicator. To get absorbed, so when you eat food you ingest it, so it gets absorbed, and something that's not seriously is said in jest, which would be a J, so it's a sound like by the sound of it. It is included, so put the IT into nuanced, which is subtle, and the addition to a foreign movie is the subtitle. I govern US is overusing, badly is your anagram indicator, and behaving like an overzealous employer. So yeah, someone who's overzealous employer would be overusing people. What do we got here? We've got deliverer of messages is an intercom, which is a hidden word across printer company. From is your hidden word indicator. To hear is to try, so you go for a trial, you get heard. In a court of law, you are tried. Try is to hear. The object of this thing is the end we're trying to get to, is going. So try about end gives you trendy, and something, you know, trendy can be the latest hot thing, or it can be that's cool. So yeah, both possible. Eastern state, I think, is Rhode Island, RI. Calls out is sings, and protest are risings, as in uprisings. Whiskey guzzling, so whiskey is rye. Doctor is DR, so yeah, doctor eating or guzzling rye for whiskey gives you a dryer, which completes shock treatment. So think of a shock of hair, so therefore you use a hairdryer on your hair. And finally, plants and animals in book 1 I translated. I think B is book, I is I is I. OCA, IOT, OCA. Book I translated. Yeah, maybe I don't know what's going on there either. So yeah, no surprise I couldn't get clodpole or biota, because even with the answers I can't actually work them out. I assume plants, biota is, or biota is plants only, but maybe it's plants and animals. In book 1 translated, BIOTA. No idea what's going on there. So there we go. That's the puzzle. It took me, well, about 50 minutes to get to those last two, so not easy, but yeah, it's a good bit of fun with all those sheep and goats on it. Thanks for watching.